welcome back to my channel. It is 1 week away from my launch day. I am relaunching my business. I took a 1 year and a half or some change break from this business, and I really did it just to take time. I graduated college, like my master's in May, and I needed a break. If I think for the first time, I wasn't doing multiple things all at once. So I really needed a break. So now I am ready to go back to launching my business, which is on May 24th, which is actually my birthday. And I feel like it's just a good, I needed a date to pick. And I was like, well, just might as well launch it on my birthday. Maybe you guys will surprise me with a birthday gift by purchasing something from the store. But today is all about prep work because I'm a week away and I need to make things. I've already started making candles. I made 2 batches of candles so far, and I have 3 more to go. I need to make some room sprays as well. And I'm going to talk about what those scents are. I'm going to talk about the relaunch, what I've done to prep for the relaunch. So if like you're trying to start a business, or you have a business and you just need to restructure what you're doing if things aren't working. I'm going to talk about what I did to kind of do better than last time. I started this in 2021. Oh no, 2022. I started BioDairy in 2022, and I kind of just like started it. I didn't really have a plan. I just started it. And the why for starting it was more like, I know how to make something. I like being creative. I like um, handmade products. So I was like, I'm going to make it and sell it. So that was the why. Whereas versus now, the why has changed a bit. It's still, I enjoy handmade products, but it's more about like, you know, helping other people, so solving other people's problems. When I started by BioDairy, it was during the pandemic. It was when I started BioDairy, it was during the pandemic, and for the first time, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but for the first time, I was in my house. For a lot of us, we're in our house for an extended period of time where we're locked up, and I was like, what do I do? Like my space feels like so sterile, and I didn't like it because prior to that, I was like working 2 jobs prior to the pandemic. I was like working from literally from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. at night. So I had 2 jobs. So I would get home by like 1:32 and go to sleep till about 6 o'clock. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 4 hours. I would get 4 hours of sleep. So my house, I was non-existent in that space. I was just there to come in at 1:30 a.m., go to bed, shower really quickly, go to bed, wake up at 6 o'clock, shower again, and head to work. So my home was not a home. So when we were stuck inside the house, I kind of like went back into things that I like to do. So in high school, I'm an art person, I'm a creative person, I'm a designer. And so just being at home, I was like, I gotta do something. So I started making like clay, air dry clay projects, started working with plaster, started working with cement, and that's how BioDairy came to be. So I started making objects that I can put in my home that felt nice. And I think the feeling of making something with your hand kind of like brings peace to you. And that's what I want a home to feel like. I want my home to feel like a sanctuary. And I want that for other people because there are people who were in my situation, who are currently in my situation, and their home just doesn't, it's not a home to them. So when they finally get to that space where they now have the capacity and the time to actually be in their home, I want them to come to me. I want them to look at my brand and say, hey, like, this person has been in my situation before. This person understands. And so when I'm making these objects, when I'm making these scents, these candles, all that thought is in my head when I'm creating the sense that I want to create. So like if I need my home to feel calm, I have a there's gonna be a candle fragrance and a room spray fragrance called Calm House. And I really like that name. Initially it was called Serene. And I really wanted it to, and I like the name Serene, but I wanted it to focus on the home and the house. And because sometimes you're coming back from work, it's busy, it's crazy, and you want to just come into your home and want everything to be quiet. You want it to be calm. You want it to be serene. And so I really like the name Calm House. And that's one of the fragrance that um, I'm going to be launching next week. I also have a candle called, another fragrance called Welcome. And it's kind of like a two-way kind of candle, like welcome to other people, but really welcome to yourself, right? You know, you come into your, like, you see the welcome mats. Usually the welcome mats are for other people to say, oh, welcome to my home, but we don't welcome ourselves into our space. And I thought about that. Like, you know, we don't think of the welcome mat as a welcome to you, but you think of it to other people. But what about you? Like, you have to be welcomed into your home. Like, your home has to feel welcoming to you. And so I call the candle welcome. It's very like cozy. It's coconut, amber, sandalwood, and a little bit of smoke. A little bit of like the smoke gives like a little kick to it. And I'll show you what the candle looks like. And this is welcome. It is, like I said, it's coconut, sandalwood, amber, and a little bit of smoke. Because you know, like a little spiciness. I think the smokiness adds a little more warmth to it. And then it also comes in a fragrance, a home, like a room and linen spray bottle. And I love this bottle so much. I I got it from Alibaba, and I'm a little concerned. I did order about, I think, 160, but if they run out, I don't know how these tariffs are going to affect me getting this bottle the next go round, but I'm just going to pray that by the time I run out, they have fixed the whole tariff situation. But yeah, another of my scent is called, I'm trying to go down the line. Oh, I do have them. Bloom. So I have Bloom, and Bloom is definitely like soft girl energy. Like, I'm telling you, all of 2024, I was all about the soft life. No one can stress me. Like, don't, like, it's a lot of no's to people. I took time for myself. It was soft girl energy. I did the things that I wanted to do, if that's going to go get a massage. When I got my first massage, I realized that I had never gotten a massage before. Like, you know, I'm going to go book my first massage. And then when you get there, it's like, why haven't I been doing this all along? This candle kind of wraps up that feeling for me. It is a rose petal and sandalwood. So rose petal is very strong. Petal is delicate, but it's also very a strong scent. Like rose is it's thorny. Like, think about the rose. The rose is thorny, but it smells nice and it's delicate. And I don't think that people realize that being in your soft era requires you to be a little thorny to some people. Like, you got to block off some people from your space, from your life, to be able to bloom into that beautiful rose. So I love this. And then the sandalwood kind of gives it a little calminess to it, so it creates a more delicate scent. So I really like this one. It's called Bloom. And then now I am, the other one is Morning Brew. It's a coffee scent. I personally don't drink coffee, but I know that coffee is a part of a lot of people's life. And at least the people around me, my mom drinks a lot of coffee. Like, she drinks coffee. So I made a coffee candle, and I kind of just saw it more as like a space for productivity. Like, if you're in your house, if you work from home, people say they can't start their day without coffee. So you got your fix right here in a candle. So after you've drank your coffee and you're in your zone, you could still be in that coffee space of mind. With the morning brew, it is a coffee, caramel, and vanilla, and it's more on the, I know people like their dark roast, but again, I'm not a coffee drinker. So if I was to drink coffee, it would definitely be more on the sweeter side, more calmer, caramelized kind of coffee. So this is coffee, caramel, and vanilla. You do get the hint of the fresh coffee in it, but it's definitely more on the sweeter side. Um, think coffee shop, like all the scents of the different types of coffee and drinks mixed together. That's what morning brew smells like. And I kind of think I talked about Calm House. Yeah, so Calm House, I talked about that a little bit. It's eucalyptus, rosemary, sage, and chamomile. So your home is definitely going to feel like you walked into this nice, like, earthy spa. It's very calm, very grounding. And I'm excited for this one to launch as well. And then for me, I call myself the resident homebody. So if you are a homebody, this candle is for you. This is for you. There is a feeling that people are like, oh, you gotta go outside. Ma'am, I pay rent here. I pay my mortgage. I pay to be in this house. So I'm gonna be in this house. And I'm gonna enjoy being in this house. So for my introverted people, um, this candle is for you because we like to be in our home, and it's almost like a sexy scent because I want to romanticize the idea of being a homebody. I feel like a lot of people look down on homebodies. They're like, you gotta go outside, you gotta socialize. I like being in my home. Like we enjoy being in our home, and I wanted to celebrate that. So this is a jasmine, lavender, santal, and amber, and it's leans. You'll smell the amber first, and later you kind of pick up on the jasmine and the lavender. But this is a sexy homebody person. Like this is I am living in my homebody identity, and I'm going to glorify that homebody identity. So this one is for you. For my homebodies, this oh, it's so hard to see. For my homebodies, this try to let's see. Okay. For my homebodies, this one is definitely for you. This is my favorite. It just I can't describe it. But and then I talked about welcome already, and that's amber, coconut, sandalwood, and smoke. So there are a total of 5 scents. So I'm gonna get to making these things, and then I'm just kind of gonna do like a voiceover of what I'm doing differently to relaunch my business, and I think I'm in a good track. I So yeah, let's get into making these candles. Making these candles and room sprays. I think I'm gonna start with the room spray first, and then move on from there. So I actually started with the candles, and I'm going to spit up the video because if I don't, we're gonna be on here for probably like 2 hours. So, like I said, I was gonna talk about the things that I did differently to be able to, relaunch my business, things that I didn't do before in the past that I am doing currently or did in order to be ready for this relaunch. And the first one was writing a business plan. And it might sound like a textbook advice, but trust me, it really, really, really matters. Like after writing my business plan, I think I have like 5 versions of this business plan because I kept going back and rewriting. Like new things will come up, and I just really took the time to identify what my mission was, who my market was, my ideal customer, and most importantly I was able to be honest about my goals, like financial goals, um customer goals, what I want to achieve in 6 months, what I want to achieve in a year, what I want to achieve in 5 years, how I'm going to do that. In my business plans, I wrote down, how much I want to spend in the first 6 months, how much I want to make in the first 6 months. How am I going to do that? Is that going to be 70% direct to customer and um, 30% to wholesale? Am I going to do workshops? Maybe that's 10, like if I'm going to do candle workshop, maybe that's 10% of my income. And how realistic is that to do? So in your business plan, you really get to define exactly the blueprint for your business to the T. And so it can take a couple revisions, and it did take me a couple revisions to get to the business plan that I have right now. And I started small, right? I said I have a 6 months goal, and then I have a 1 year goal. And that's how I built my business plan for right now. So after 1 year or after 6 months, I'm going to go back and make revisions and see what went well, what didn't go well, how I can improve, and then address the 1 year mark. I would say for the business plan, it really allows you to see things practically and not emotionally. I think when we start a business, you're so excited. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's going to be great. And then you start, and then you're like, dang, I can't, I'm not reaching my customers. But yeah, that was the first thing, having a business plan. And then the next one was, again, to start a business, it costs money. So I have been focusing on trying to find grants. I've been writing grants because let's be real, like starting, relaunching, it costs money. and I'm trying to avoid like pulling from my own pocket as much as possible. So I started researching and writing grants. I even created like a running list of grants I plan to apply for. I've applied to quite a number of them. I'm focusing on like grants that are for small businesses that support small businesses, minority owned businesses, funding, even creative entrepreneur grants. It is a lot of work up front, but getting free money is better than being in debt. So another thing that I did was focus on my branding, not just redesigning logo and coming up with the color palette, but like really wanting a brand that reflected my values, which is the home is a sacred place, the home is for rest, it's for you to recharge and express who you are. So the brand voice leans into more cozy, grounded vibe. So if I think of the candles, we have things like welcome, a calm house. The images that I'm using are more warm toned colors. They're softer, they feel airy and light. I the messaging is to not only that, but like targeting, like recreating the brand to target towards homebodies because that is my primary audience. It doesn't mean that there are other people that are in my audience bracket, but my primary audience are homebodies, people that enjoy to be in their home. And then the secondary audience are people who have a busy life, but then they want to come home and feel um, they want to feel at peace in their home. They want their space to help them recharge and a place for rest. And then that's how the brand translates into the color palette, which I have some blue tones. I know we see blue as cold, but I have warmer blue tones which give off more like serene vibes and water vibes. So when I was thinking of my brand, I was thinking of the elements, right? Air, water. I was the air, water, the earth, things that make. If you think of water, water is flowy. It's calming. People like to be by the beach. The water, the sounds of water calms you down. Or people like a breath of fresh air, like when you're outside and they're just kind of breathing in the air. So I really thought about that and translated that into like my color palette and also into the way the brand speaks. So yeah, I would highly recommend that if you are starting a business or you feel like your business needs a different direction, spend some time in really identifying what your values are, and then that helps you build your brand and also get someone else involved that has experience in marketing, experience in branding, and they can also assist you in building your brand. Now with this relaunch, I know that I wanted to scale compared to what I had done in the past. So, one big thing for scaling was product sourcing, and especially for the candle vessels and the room spray bottles. So, I made the decision to buy those items in bulk. So, for example, my candle jars and room sprays, buying them in the US would have cost me up to $2 per jar. But then I went through Alibaba, where I found a supplier and I ordered 300 candle vessels and I got them for 55 cents each. And that's even considering the cost of shipping. And all I had to do was wait 1 month for shipping. So basically, if I am running low, I know that I need to order 1 month in advance, and I'm willing to do that at the cost that I'm receiving it versus like ordering here in the US for $2. And it would get to me in 2 weeks by ordering in the US from a supplier here in the US, but they also get their um, candle jars from China. So I just went straight to the source and I factor in the time it takes for it to get to me. I also factor in potential damages that could happen along the way. And when I thought about all those things, it was still a better deal for me to just go straight to the source of buying the jars and the bottles there versus buying it from a third party in the US. So that's something to consider if you want to scale your business. How can you find what you need wholesale and buy them bulk? Because at the end of the day, it does reduce the cost of production which then impacts how much you sell your products for, and that cost doesn't have to be carried on onto the consumer. And the next thing that I wanted to do was be more intentional with the product curation. Something that I did prior was I was just kind of making things. Like I would find a mold and I'll buy it if I liked it, and I would just make it and start selling. So now I have so many molds that I'm actually trying to get rid of. And now it almost like it's a waste because I currently now don't have the intention of using those molds anymore. So I'm trying to sell them off. I've been posting them on Facebook Marketplace. I actually sold three of them on Facebook Marketplace to someone, which I was happy about. But this time around, I'm being more intentional than last time. I'm no longer trying to make everything for everyone. This time I'm focusing on what aligns with my brand and what I truly love, which are the candles, the room sprays, and picking 3 to 4 decorative home objects that make a space feel calm, curated, and personal. So a lot of the decorative objects are handmade. I made the prototypes for them, and then I made a mold out of the prototypes. So I'm going to be releasing 5 decorative objects: a vase, a candle holder, a catch-all tray, coaster, and a Palo Santo stick holder and an incense holder. So they're like a two-in-one. So it's almost like a collection of these 5 items are a collection, and they are like essential home decor pieces to start with in a home. Even with the color choices, I'm going to be sticking to 3 to 4 color choices, neutral color choices that people can have. And one thing about the decor pieces is that I don't want them to to cause noise in a space. So I'm sticking to neutral color palettes like a soft white, black, brown, a soft blue, and a moss color. And then maybe down the line, maybe for like special seasons and special holidays and things like that, I might introduce one additional color that are seasonal. So that's a little bit about the things that I started doing and will continue to do. Um, with this relaunch, it isn't just about like selling products, it's about creating a lifestyle, a feeling, a little slice of a sanctuary in your space. So if you are in a similar journey, whether that's personal or business, I hope that this inspires you to be more intentional, be more strategic, and if you are a business, be more aligned with your why. So drop in the comments if you want me to break down any of these steps further, or like share a template and resources that I use. So like, for example, if you want to see what my business plan looks like in the template, let me know in the comments and I can create like a template guide for you to use. If you have questions about funding, I do have a platform. It's called Skip. That's where I go to find grants, find any kind of resources for running a business. It's a really great platform. I know that on Skip, they can also even help you with your business plan if you're like a Skip Plus member. But I will put a link in the description of Skip. You can check it out. Like I said, it's a great resource if you are a business owner, a creative entrepreneur, even a content creator. I think that there's something for you on that platform. Okay, so I finished making the room spray bottles and the 3 ounce candle discovery box sets. I'm going to end the video here because it's getting really long, almost at like 30 minutes, and I feel like that's really long video. I will do a part 2 and post that like right alongside this video. I hope this information was helpful. So if you're trying to start your business or want to kind of like restructure your business, I hope that the information that I shared was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video.